Picture this. Tonight you lie down in bed, close your eyes as you have done countless times before, and you never wake up. No warning, no pain you would even remember. Only silence. This happens far more often than most people realise. Every year, hundreds of thousands of adults over 50 suffer heart attacks and strokes in their sleep. And here is the part that should make anyone pause. For most of them, it was not a rare illness, simple bad luck, or genetics alone that led to that moment. It was something they did every single night, something they believed was completely harmless. We tend to think of nighttime as a refuge, a time to let go, recover and restore. But modern cardiology is making one thing increasingly clear. Sleep is not always a peaceful time for the heart. In fact, the hours between midnight and 6 in the morning can be one of the most hemodynamically vulnerable periods of the entire day. According to the American Heart Association, nearly half of all fatal cardiovascular events in older adults happen during those hours. That is not a coincidence. There are silent but powerful mechanisms at work while you sleep. Mechanisms that, under the wrong conditions, can trigger a catastrophic event without a single warning sign. For years, medical literature has warned us about 5 dangerous nighttime habits, but the latest research in cardiology urges us to look even deeper. Today I'm going to show you 7 nighttime habits that may be quietly turning your sleep into the most dangerous part of your day. And then I'll give you a clear, step-by-step routine you can start tonight to better protect yourself. Plus, Habit 1. Eating late and eating heavy. Most people don't see this as a danger, it's just dinner. But after the age of 50, the timing and volume of what you eat at night can determine whether your heart gets to rest or whether it's forced to work overtime for hours on end. When you consume a large meal late in the evening, particularly after 8 or 9 o'clock, several dangerous things happen simultaneously. Your digestive system demands a massive surge of blood flow. To meet that demand, your heart has to pump significantly harder and faster. This means your cardiovascular system never gets to enter its natural repair and recovery mode. That sustained nocturnal strain prevents your blood pressure from dropping the way it's supposed to during sleep, a process that is critical to cardiac health, and it can trigger dangerous disruptions in heart rhythm. Lighter, earlier dinners allow your heart to genuinely rest. They stabilize blood pressure through the night and dramatically reduce the risk of a cardiac event happening while you sleep. Habit 2. Sway. Missing or mismanaging your medication. If you take medication for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinners, pay very close attention to this one. It is, quite literally, a matter of life and death. In healthy individuals, blood pressure follows a natural circadian rhythm. It dips by 10 to 20% during sleep, a protective phenomenon known as the dipper pattern. But in many adults over 50, that drop never happens. Worse still, in some people, blood pressure actually rises during the night, a pattern cardiologists call reverse dipper, or riser. This nocturnal hypertension is extremely dangerous, and it's one of the most powerful predictors of stroke and organ damage we know of. Silent blood pressure spikes during sleep can rupture fatty plaques inside your arteries, sending clots travelling toward your heart or brain, with no warning signs whatsoever. Skipping doses or taking medications at inconsistent times opens the door for exactly these kinds of spikes. Interestingly, chronotherapy, timing antihypertensive medications in the evening rather than the morning, has been shown in prospective studies to cut the incidence of major cardiovascular events by nearly half, reducing the risk of hemorrhagic stroke and the onset of heart failure. Never skip your doses and always ask your doctor what time of day is best for you to take them. Habit 3. Ignoring snoring and sleep apnea. Obstructive sleep apnea syndrome is one of the most underdiagnosed and widespread silent killers in modern cardiovascular medicine. It's characterized by the repeated collapse of the upper airway during sleep, causing breathing to stop entirely for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, sometimes more than 30 seconds at a time. Each time you stop breathing, your blood oxygen level crashes. Your body triggers an emergency response. Your heart rate spikes, your blood pressure surges, and stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, flood your system. On top of that, the effort of trying to breathe against a blocked airway generates sudden, violent changes in pressure inside the chest cavity. These pressure swings stretch and stress the heart muscle itself, altering its electrical properties and creating the perfect conditions for arrhythmias including atrial fibrillation. Research from major universities has shown that untreated sleep apnea triples the risk of nighttime heart attack and quadruples the risk of stroke. Warning signs to watch for include loud, persistent snoring, waking up gasping or choking, morning headaches, and overwhelming daytime fatigue. Even after what felt like a full night of sleep, CPAP therapy remains the most effective treatment for reversing this risk. Habit 4. Taide more. Going to bed dehydrated. As we move past 50, our natural thirst response weakens. Many people intentionally limit fluids in the evening to avoid waking up to use the bathroom. On the surface, that seems sensible. Biologically, it can be a serious mistake. While you sleep, your body continuously loses moisture through breathing and gentle perspiration. If you go to bed already dehydrated, your blood gradually thickens and becomes more concentrated as the night progresses. This increased viscosity forces your heart to work significantly harder to push that sluggish, dense blood through arteries that may already be narrowed by age or plaque buildup. Nighttime dehydration is a key contributor to the formation of clots that can block the cerebral arteries, causing strokes that happen silently, in the dark while you're completely unaware. Habit 5. Sleeping in a room that's too hot or too cold. The temperature of your bedroom has a direct effect on your cardiovascular system, and both extremes carry real risk. Sleeping in a room warmer than 75 degrees, 24 degrees C, forces your body to work continuously to cool itself, dilating peripheral blood vessels, triggering sweating, and reducing something called heart rate variability in older adults. Lower heart rate variability signals dominance of the sympathetic nervous system and poor autonomic recovery, both of which are warning signs for cardiovascular strain. But extreme cold is arguably even more dangerous. Cold temperatures trigger a powerful vasoconstriction response. Your blood vessels tighten to preserve core body heat. This increases the resistance your heart must pump against, raises the viscosity of your blood, and promotes the formation of clots. Large-scale epidemiological studies link cold sleeping environments to approximately 40,000 excess cardiovascular deaths annually in the United States alone. The sweet spot for most adults is a cool, consistent room temperature, somewhere in the range of 65 to 68 degrees, 18 to 20 centigrade. Habit 6. Allowing noise into your sleep environment. You might consider yourself a heavy sleeper, unbothered by the traffic outside or the neighbour's television. But your cardiovascular system doesn't sleep the way your conscious mind does. It hears everything. Ambient noise, particularly nighttime traffic noise, is a stealthy and underestimated cardiovascular threat. Even at sound levels that never fully wake you, noise triggers what researchers call vegetative arousals. Your brain processes those sounds as potential threats and activates the fight or flight response, producing spikes in blood pressure, accelerating your heart rate, and releasing a steady drip of stress hormones throughout the night. A study published in Cardiovascular Research found that a single night of exposure to typical urban noise levels, around 60 decibels, significantly impaired endothelial function in healthy adults. The endothelium is the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, responsible for keeping them flexible and responsive. Damage to it, night after night, is one of the primary drivers of hypertension, heart attack, and stroke. Habit 7. Cutting your sleep short or letting it fragment. Stealing hours from your sleep is, in a very real and measurable sense, breaking your heart from the inside out. For a long time, we thought insufficient sleep simply made you tired. But modern research using optical coherence tomography, a sophisticated imaging technique that can examine the interior walls of coronary arteries, has revealed something far more alarming. People who sleep 5.5 hours or less per night, or who have consistently poor sleep quality, show significantly different coronary plaque characteristics than those who sleep adequately. Specifically, their plaques have a thinner protective fibrous cap and a larger, more unstable lipid core. This particular type of lesion, known as a thin cap fibroatheroma, is the primary precursor to sudden plaque rupture and catastrophic heart attack. Beyond the structure of your arteries, sleep deprivation and fragmented sleep act as potent triggers of systemic inflammation. Poor sleep reduces levels of a brain chemical called hypocretin, which in turn accelerates the production of inflammatory white blood cells in the bone marrow. These cells migrate to arterial walls, driving chronic inflammation, elevating markers like C-reactive protein, and accelerating the very atherosclerosis that puts your heart at risk. Your cardioprotective nighttime routine, a step-by-step plan. The truth can be uncomfortable, but it can also be empowering. A significant portion of the strokes and heart attacks that happen during sleep are not the result of fate. They are preventable. You don't need expensive treatments or radical lifestyle overhauls. You need awareness and consistency. Here is a simple, practical routine you can begin tonight. 7 p.m. Dinner and hydration. Keep your meal light and manageable. Focus on lean proteins, vegetables, and easily digestible carbohydrates. Avoid heavy fats, excessive portions, and high-sodium foods, which directly worsen nocturnal blood pressure. Drink a full glass of water with your meal. 8 p.m. Cold key. Wind down. Transition into calm. A gentle evening walk, light reading or quiet music are ideal. Avoid emotionally charged conversations, stressful content, and bright screen light, all of which suppress melatonin and disrupt your circadian rhythm. 9 p.m. Prepare your environment. Set your bedroom to a cool, stable temperature, ideally between a 65 and 68 degrees, and 18 to 20 degrees. If you live near a busy road or a noisy area, use earplugs, a white noise machine, or soundproofing measures to protect your sleep. Place a small glass of water on your nightstand before you get into bed. 9:30 p.m. Medication and final bathroom trip. Empty your bladder fully to minimize nighttime interruptions. If your doctor has prescribed antihypertensives or other evening medications, take them precisely as directed. Timing your blood pressure medication at night, rather than in the morning, may offer significant cardiovascular protection. But always follow your doctor's specific guidance on this. 10 p.m. Sleep position. If you snore or carry risk factors for sleep apnea, such as a thicker neck circumference or excess body weight, make a conscious effort to sleep on your side rather than on your back. The supine position worsens airway collapse and increases the frequency and severity of apnea events. If you wake during the night, move slowly. Before you stand up, sit on the edge of the bed for a moment. This gives your baroreflex system, the pressure-regulating mechanism in your blood vessels, time to adjust and prevents the dizziness and cardiovascular stress that can come with sudden position changes. Take small sips of water if you feel thirsty. Implementing this routine has the potential to reduce your nocturnal cardiovascular stress by more than 40%. Your heart has been working without pause for every single day of your life. It has beaten millions of times, through stress, through joy, through seasons of your life it carried you through without complaint. The least we can do is give it the conditions it needs to repair itself during the hours when it's most vulnerable. Start tonight. Your heart is counting on it.